In this video, we're talking about 6 things that feel wrong, but women are actually praying you do. Because women are emotional and illogical and backwards from your way of thinking. And so you need to relearn and recondition how you behave and how you perceive women in dating to get a positive result. That's the core issue. So in this video, I'm gonna break down 6 things that feel really wrong to you, but women are actually praying you do. Not only that, I'm also going to tell you the psychology behind why this is the way it is. So number 1, being bold and opinionated. A lot of times, guys are very timid and worried about voicing their true opinions, being truly organic, with the fear that it's going to offend them, from the fear that it's going to upset them. And as a result, they will no longer desire you or desire you less. Let me tell you why that's a massive lie, and let me tell you why this is super important to do. Women on a primal level need a masculine man. A masculine guy is not concerned about their opinion. A masculine guy has his own opinions and he believes them. It's a sign of high testosterone. It's a sign of masculinity. And so when you're bold and you have your opinions and you don't care what she thinks, that turns her on. When you're not bold, when you're wishy-washy on your beliefs, when you're unopinionated, when you don't have strong opinions, it shows her that you are uncertain. And women are nervous, anxious balls of just weasel minds. And so this means they are always looking to you. They're always looking at you as the man to be the certain one, to be the confident one, to be the emotional rock that doesn't have all this volatility that they go through because of hormones and estrogen and all these other things. And so with that being said, for you to be an emotional rock, you need to have certainty. You need to be confident. You need to be sure of yourself. And that extends to your opinions. That extends to what you believe to be true about the world. How could you be a confident, certain emotional rock, but yet not know where you truly stand about things? They don't coincide. There needs to be a direct correlation between how certain you are about your opinions and being bold and not being afraid of offending people and your certainty as a man. And so all of these things are intertwined, and it hits them on a psychological and biological level that you can protect and provide because you do have opinions, because you are bold. Number 2, going for the close, going for intimacy. A lot of guys are so fearful about making a move, about trying to hook up with them. And to clarify, I'm not saying talk dirty off the bat. I'm not saying, say, come over right now, let's have sex. I'm not saying that. But after a date or after a few dates, you should be going for the close. You should not be afraid to be like, let's go home. Let's do this. Let's do that. And physically going for it. Here's why this is so important. A lot of guys play the game way too timid. They play the game way too soft. They're very concerned about offending women or making them feel uncomfortable, whatever. Women want a man that goes for what he wants, especially them. That is a sign of a man that is a go-getter. He conquers, he does things, which is the pinnacle of attraction and desire a woman feels towards you. When you're a conquering guy, when you go for what you want, that is one of the most attractive traits you can possess as a man from a woman's eyes, because they have none of that. And they need you to do that so they can survive. This is all biology, psychology, very primal stuff. And so when it comes to women, just like anything else in your life, you should be fucking going for it. You should be going for it. You should see them and say, I want that, I'm going for it. Now, obviously this starts with going for the number or going for the date, but then it still progresses. It doesn't change because there's sex involved. You should still be going for it. Just like your career, just like your life, just like them. It shouldn't be any different. And even if they don't want to, they will be turned on by the fact that you went for it. They will be turned on by the fact that you're a guy that goes for what he wants. On the other hand, if you exhibit behavior that says, I don't want to make her uncomfortable, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to be timid, I'm going to be super, super respectful, they will actually lose desire for you. But with your attempt of wanting to make them feel comfortable and not going for the close and not going for intimacy, they actually, on a subconscious level, lose desire for you because they see you as weak. This is completely full circle. They will see you as weak, they will see you as a guy that doesn't go for what he wants, and they won't respect you because of it. They might have not even wanted to, it won't matter, because that's how you make them feel. Number 3, telling them they're wrong. This is incredibly important and something a lot of guys mess up. Most men are too afraid of a woman's opinion, of them not liking them and all this nonsense to ever say, you're wrong. Here's why you have to do this. Women need men to be the voice of reason. Women on a very deep internal level. No, they're inferior. That's why they date up. They want a man that's better than them at everything. So by nature, you're superior, they are inferior. Now, if you never tell them, no, you're wrong about that. No, we're not doing that. No, that's not reality. Then are you truly better? Are they truly inferior? If you agree or you let them say whatever they want, that doesn't sound like a hierarchy to me. That sounds more like equality, or worse, you think she's better. And you might not think that, but you're behaving that way because you're afraid of pissing her off. That's the core issue. If you're better than her, then you would never be afraid of that. Because you know you are the voice of reason. You are the voice of discernment. You know right or wrong, which is the figure you need to present with a woman. And so that's why it's so important to tell them when they're wrong, that they're wrong. You almost have to assume like a father figure type role. Would you look at a kid that's 5 years old and be like, yeah, you're right about everything. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right about everything. No. You'd be like, you're wrong. Kiddo, this is not reality. With women, it's no different. And the core issue is, if you don't take that role, if there's no hierarchy, if you don't clearly show them you are smarter and better and have better discernment and can tell right from wrong 1,000 times better than they can, they lose respect. Because on a biological level, they need you to be better. And again, it shows too much equality and it gives them too much power to not take this role. And so while you're afraid to do this, they're wishing you did it. While you're afraid to do all of these things, they're wishing you took this role. And what's so confusing about all these things is they're going to tell you they want them. They want the opposite, when it's absolutely not the case. This is what they need. Number 4, this one's going to feel incredibly wrong, but it's one of the biggest pulls you can do to increase desire. Not caring about them. Now, what do I mean by that? Obviously, you're going to care about them to some extent, but there's a level to this. You have to understand, women date up, hierarchy, no quality, hierarchy in nature. She's thinking about you, you're thinking about the world. That's the truest hierarchy. If you think about them a lot, if you care about them, if you really put them at like the epicenter of your life, they will lose desire and respect for you because they know internally that's their role. The caring, nurturing role is them to you. The way you care about a woman is not in the same way they care about you. It's completely different. You protect them from themselves, quite literally. You protect them from the world, and you shield them from things and just turn their brain off. Does that sound like caring? No, because it's not caring in the emotional aspect you've been trained to think caring means. It's very different. How you care about a woman is just simply being there as the rock while you go and do your own shit. Now, they care about you by obsessing over you, by thinking about you, by taking care of you. That's their role. Now, if you assume that role, they're going to see you as lesser value. Because a woman sees a man at his highest value when the man is doing his own shit, conquering the world. Do you have time to sit and care and think about a woman all day long when you're doing that? Of course not. And they know that on a very, very subconscious level. And so your caring needs to be a hands-off caring. It needs to be a caring that's like, look, I'm doing this shit, you're taken care of, that's it. The loving, the emotional caring, the emotional nurturing, that is a woman's job. That is feminine. When you get this switched around and when you obsess about her, think about her all the time, you can expect her desire to completely fall. Number 5, being inconsiderate of their feelings. This is very important. And again, this is going to feel incredibly wrong, but they need this. Here's why. Women know they're weasels, like I said. And so when they throw tantrums, when they feel things emotionally, if you validate them, if you consider them as reality and you stoop to their level and try to give them solutions, they're going to see you as a dumbass on a subconscious level. They're going to see you as somebody they can't trust. And here's how fucking sick and twisted this is. Women know they're outrageous. They know their emotions and their volatility and their opinions are all outrageous and should never be taken literally. On a deep level, they know this. And so when a man takes them literally and seriously and you're considerate of all of these emotional spikes and tantrums and take them literally, now they view you as a dumbass. Now they view you as incompetent, incapable, because you don't understand this on a super deep primal level. Nobody's ever going to tell you this. I think I'm one of the only people on the internet to actually tell you the truth about this. So what does that mean? It means that women especially will never tell you this. Women especially will be like, why don't you care about my feelings? Why don't you blah, 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 blah? All they're saying is make me happy, change my emotional state. They're not saying take me literally. They're not saying be super considerate about the facts and give me a logical solution. What they want is for you to change their emotional state. So many guys don't understand this. I would argue every guy doesn't understand this, but me. And so why it's so important, while it may feel wrong, is to never take them literally and never be considerate over all of this hoopla they do. It's all games, smoke and mirrors, not real. Do not be considerate about their little bitty feelings that change with the wind. Just pat them on the head, give them a snack, and change their emotional state. They will love you 1,000 times more. Number 6, bossing them around. So important. A lot of guys are too afraid to do this, and a lot of guys believe into the psyop and the conditioning of TikTok and Netflix. Oh, equality. Never boss them around. Ask them what they want. All this nonsense. Again, there has to be hierarchy in nature. They know it deep down, we know it deep down. Another true thing that's very, very real about this situation is women say they want to make decisions. They don't. Women hate thinking. Women hate making decisions. If genuinely a woman could just like draw all day with her brain off, she would. They don't want to be in reality. They don't want to make decisions. They don't want anything of the kind. When we boss them around, it removes so much negative emotion in their mind that it makes them so happy. Because whenever a woman has to make a decision or use her brain, she gets anxiety every time. Every single time she has to turn this little weasel mind on, it's worry, it's nerves, it's anxiety. When we boss a woman around, we turn their brain off, do this, do that. They're in peak state because they have no anxiety from thinking. That's the cycle. And so this feels wrong. I get it. Do it anyways and watch their reaction. Watch their respect for you go up. And because they feel better internally, because they have less anxiety, their desire is going to spike for you because you accomplished that for them without them even asking. Number 7, telling them no. I understand how hard this might be if you're a generational nice guy. You've been conditioned for decades to be nice, to treat women with tons of respect, to never offend them, to be really concerned about their opinions. You need to tell them no all the time. The best example I can give you that is very relevant for this is a father and his child. Bear with me. Does a father say yes to everything the child wants if it's kicking and screaming and whining for it? No, basically never. Basically never, right? Oh, we could do this, blah, blah. No. Oh, what about this? No. The same with women. Because if you tell them yes all the time, they're not going to respect your discernment. Because again, back to the deeply rooted subconscious feeling, they know they are weasels. And so if we validate them and give them what they want, now we're also a weasel. Hierarchy broken, frame gone, frame broken, they don't like us. And so we have to get in the habit of telling them no all the time. I would actually condition my exes. I'm like, your favorite word is no. Your favorite word is no. And I would tell them no all the time and they would love it. Because they need that type of role model, that figure. There's no equality here. It's a hierarchy, literally. And if you say yes to things and you give them what they say they want, they don't know what they want. Don't have the capacity. Essentially, everything they say they want is something they don't want. You need to save them from themselves. This is the male role a woman needs, like a father. You need to save them from their own weasel inclinations. They don't know what's right or wrong. They don't know which path to go to. And when you say yes to everything, they're going to get hurt. They're going to get bored. They're going to see you as less than. They're going to build resentment and it's going to nuke everything. And you're also going to hand off way too much power. This is frame control. This is power dynamics. This is the real game of women in dating. If you want me to make you a master at women, click the links below. I have resources, one-on-one mentorship available, and I guarantee you this, I will change your life and how you see women forever. Those are my clients' words, not mine. I'll see you in the next video.